It was a stormy night, rain lashing against my car's windshield as I drove down the desolate country road. My GPS had lost signal, leaving me disoriented and isolated in the darkness. But I had to get home, and there was no turning back. As the rain intensified, visibility became nearly non-existent. My heart raced as I strained to see through the torrential downpour. Suddenly, a figure emerged in front of my headlights. A young girl, soaked to the bone, standing in the middle of the road. I slammed on the brakes, the car screeching to a halt just inches from her. Trembling, I rolled down the window and asked if she needed help. She didn't respond, just stared at me with hollow, lifeless eyes. Fear gnawed at me, and I decided to drive away and find help. But as I tried to move, the wheels spun in the mud, trapping the car. Panic set in as the girl vanished from sight. I fumbled for my phone, but there was no signal, no way to call for help. Dread washed over me as I realized how truly isolated I was. Suddenly, a chilling laughter echoed around me. I looked around, my heart pounding, but there was no one in sight. The laughter grew louder, more sinister. Then the car's radio crackled to life on its own, emitting a distorted voice that spoke my name. Terrified, I tried to start the car, but the engine wouldn't respond. The laughter grew louder, closer, and the radio voice spoke in a haunting tone, recounting my deepest fears and regrets. I felt like I was losing my sanity. In a last desperate attempt, I kicked open the car door and ran into the darkness. The rain soaked me to the bone as I stumbled through the muddy terrain. But with each step, the laughter pursued me, getting closer and closer. Finally, I collapsed at the edge of a dilapidated cabin. The laughter surrounded me, and the door creaked open on its own. I had no choice but to step inside. The cabin's interior was filled with eerie relics and an unsettling stillness. As I explored, the laughter subsided, replaced by an unsettling silence. But just as I thought I was safe, a hand touched my shoulder. I turned around, and there she was, the girl from the road, her eyes now hollow sockets. I screamed in terror, but there was no escape. The cabin seemed to swallow me whole, and I knew then that my fate was sealed. This night would be my last, trapped in a nightmare of my own making, a driving gone wrong that led me straight into the clutches of darkness.
I was driving along a deserted highway, my headlights cutting through the darkness like a knife. The radio crackled with static, adding to the sense of isolation. Rain started to fall, splattering against the windshield, and I struggled to see the road ahead. In the distance, I spotted an old gas station, a beacon of hope. I pulled in, relieved to find shelter from the storm. The gas station looked abandoned, but the lights were on. I stepped out of the car, my footsteps echoing eerily. Inside, an unsettling silence greeted me. The shelves were lined with dusty, outdated items. I called out, but there was no response. The air felt heavy and a chill crawled up my spine. As I turned to leave, I saw a figure standing at the end of the aisle. It was a woman, her face obscured by shadows. She beckoned me closer, her outstretched hand trembling. Instinct screamed at me to run, but curiosity got the better of me. "Are you okay?" I asked hesitantly. Without a word, she extended a weathered photograph. It depicted me, my face contorted in terror inside the gas station. I dropped the picture, heart pounding, and turned to flee. The gas station seemed to shift, transforming into a nightmarish labyrinth. Panic consumed me as I ran down endless aisles, the woman's haunting laughter echoing through the darkness. I finally burst through the exit, back into the pouring rain. But my car was gone, replaced by an eerie silence. The gas station had vanished, leaving me stranded in the darkness. A distant cry echoed through the night, and I followed the sound to find an old payphone. I dialed for help, but the line was dead. Terror gripped me as I realized that something malevolent had trapped me in this nightmare. As the rain continued to pour, I knew my fate was sealed. I was destined to wander this desolate highway forever, a driving gone wrong that led me to an eternal nightmare.